Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tin Realm video. In this video, I have the Wood Elf with the Ranger class. So the Wood Elf has 7 health, 9 energy, and starts with 1 food. When resolving the Grove, the Wood Elf gains 1 favor. She may also spend 4 favor to escape the Labyrinth. And the Ranger class gives an additional 4 health and 3 energy. You start with the short bow and the raven, and you can spend 1 energy to deal 2 additional damage, 2 energy to deal 5 additional damage, and 3 energy to deal 7 additional damage. Then the short bow attacks with the short bow deal 1 additional damage to enemies with armor. And then you have the raven, which once per dungeon level, you may spend 1 food to skip your enemy's turn to attack. So that could be good. It's kind of like you're feeding the raven to reward it for going and distracting the enemy for a bit, giving you an opportunity to attack. So, as per usual, I have all 4 cards on the harder side where they have an additional space you have to get through. So let's calculate our starting health and energy. We have 7 plus 4 is 11 health. Not the most, but not the worst. We have 9 plus 3 energy, so we have 12 energy, nearly the max. This will hopefully be a much better omen for the rest of the game. And then starting with 1 food. So my last video in Tin Helm went a little bit sideways with not getting any energy or food, or just starting the game with a lot less energy and struggling with energy for the entire game. So hopefully having more energy and starting with food will not have that same thing happen here. But we'll have much lower starting health, so we might die a little bit more easily that way. So, let's get started. First we have the Lost Spring. I'm going to go ahead and explore the Lost Spring. And so we have an event, which is the Grove. Perfect. So because I'm the Wood Elf, when we resolve the Grove, I gain 1 favor. And then the Grove, if you don't remember, you may search the Grove for mushrooms. Each mushroom found equals 1 food. Roll a die to see how many you find. So let's go ahead and roll a die. 5. That would be 2 mushrooms, so we get 2 food. This is immediately so much better. Okay. So then we go to the water to see if we fish for even more food. That is another 5. That is another food. Okay, and then we'll go to the campsite. And I'm already at max health and max energy, so I will just, at the campsite, gain another food. So I'm at max health, max energy, and max food. And the game literally just started. So I'd say things are going pretty well. So I will place the Lost Spring down here. We have Bone Rock. Bone Rock would not allow me to move anywhere on the map out there, so I'm just going to skip it. Ooh. But we go to the Pyramid, which only has skulls on the side. But it has a chest, and we get the Pipeweed. So that could be pretty good. The Pipeweed, you may discard this card along with 1 food to gain 2 health, 2 energy, and to advance 1 space on the map card. So arguably one of the strongest loot cards in the game. But unfortunately, I have to take the Pyramid here. Oof. I'm going to go put it on this side. Then Dead Oak has another skull on the side, but it has a forest that could let me complete the Lost Spring. I'm going to skip it and hopefully find a forest on a different card. So I'll skip this. Hey, look, the Deep Wood. Perfect. So I have to fight a Crawlbone. So the Crawlbone, 4 health, plus 1, because it's the first day. So 5 health. No bonus damage, has 2 defense, 1 favor. You lose 1 energy every time the Crawlbone successfully hits during combat. Now, this enemy has armor, so my attacks with the short bow will deal 1 additional damage. So the Crawlbone effectively has 7 health right now. I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 energy to attack. Oops. 2 energy to attack. So we have a 4 and a 2. That is 2 damage, plus 5 is 7, plus 1 from the short bow is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. It has 5 health, and so it will die, and I will gain 1 favor. Cool. And so then I will place the deep wood on this side of the Lost Spring, which will let me complete this little forest icon here and move 1 space. Okay. Vile Shores is just a trap in a fight and doesn't let me complete anything. I'm gonna skip Vile Shores, I think. And we go to Dark Pool. So I have to fight a random enemy and then we get a water. So I'll shuffle up the enemies and see what we will have to fight. So flip it over. Oh boy, a Death Mage. So Death Mage has 5 health plus 1, so 6 health. Does 2 bonus damage, no defense, gain 2 favor when you kill it. Death Mage heals for 2 health every time they successfully hit during combat. So I'm just going to spend 2 energy again to attack. There's a 2 and a 1. Oof. So that'll be 5 plus 1 is 6. No bonus damage. But they have no defense and only have 6 health, so they will die. And I will gain 2 favor. Then we will go to the water, and I will attempt to fish for food. That's a 2. No food for me. But I will place this on this side of the pyramid. Hang on, let me adjust this a little bit. Hang in there. See if I can get a little bit more in the shot here. Okay. That'll help a little bit. And then adjust just a little more. So now we have the high nest, which will let me move 1 space. So I will go to the high nest. I have to fight a Bane Spider. Woof. So Bane Spider will have 5 health, does 1 bonus damage, no defense, gain 1 favor when you kill it. You gain 1 poison every time the Bane Spider successfully hits during combat. So 5 health. I'm just going to spend 1 energy to attack. I think it'll be fine. Ooh, it was not fine. 3 and a 4, so that's 1 plus 2 is only 3 damage, bring it down to 2 health, and then it will get to attack me. Ooh, but it missed. Okay. Instead of spending more energy, I want to really conserve on my energy. So I'm just going to punch it for 1 damage, bring it down to 1 HP, and then letting it attack again. Oh, no. Oh, no. So that is 5 plus 1 is 6 damage. So I'm going to go down to 5 damage and get poisoned. Oof. But then I'm going to punch it in the face for 1 more and then gain 1 favor. Yowza. Okay, so I'm actually going to use the pipeweed now, which I can discard it along with 1 food to gain 2 health, 2 energy, and advance 1 space. So 1 food, discard the pipeweed, get 2 health, 2 energy, and move 1 space. Okay. Then we go to a campsite where I will heal for 2 health and gain 1 energy. And then the high nest I will put on here, which will allow me to move one more space. The old ferry will not allow me to move, so I'm going to skip the old ferry, and we have arrived at the lakeside. I have to take 2 health from a trap, and then we get to visit the Oak Warden. So the Oak Warden... the Oak Warden will grant you one of the following blessings if you spend the favor indicated. 1, gain 3 health. 1, gain 2 energy. 2, remove all poison. 3, move 1 space on the map cards. I will go ahead and spend 3 favor to move 1 space on the map card. Okay. And then the lakeside I will place here, which will complete this mountain symbol, and I will move 1 space forward again. Okay. So that is the end of the first day. We advance to day 2. I have to eat 1 food, and then all of these will get discarded. Well, not discarded, but reshuffled up. Okay. So, things are going well. We have 7 health, 10 energy, 3 food. Took a little bit of a beating against that spider, but not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so we've got the lakeside. I'm going to go ahead and go to the lakeside. Where, we have a 2 energy trap. So lose 2 energy, but then we get to go to the crossroads. So the crossroads, you've stumbled upon a series of forks in the road. Roll a die to determine your fate. On a 1, you move back 1 space. 2 or 3, nothing happens. 4 or 5, move 1 space. And on a 6, move 2 space. And on a 6, move 2 spaces. We got a 4. So that will let us move 1 space into a campsite where I will go ahead and gain 2 health and 1 energy. Perfect. And so with that, I will place the lakeside here. Then we have the Lost Spring. Now, unfortunately, the Lost Spring will not actually connect to my lakeside, so I'm going to skip it. Oh, man. Pyramid again. We get a random loot card. So I'll go ahead and shuffle up loot here and get something random. We get the trail map. Well, that would have been nice 2 seconds ago. You may add 1 to the result of your roll when you enter the crossroads. Okay. So then we place the pyramid somewhere. I'll just place it here, I suppose. And then I'll go ahead and go to the Deep Wood, which is just a fight. And it is a fight against a Bane Spider. Okay. Bane Spider. It's right on top again. So the Bane Spider will have 6 health now. And I'm going to spend 2 energy to attack it. That is a 4 and a 3. So 5 plus 1 is 6. It has no defense, so that is exactly enough to kill it, giving me 1 favor. Okay. Deep Wood. A little unfortunate. I'm going to place it on this part of the lakeside, so that way the high nest can connect to it. So I will go to the high nest, skipping the next card. We have to fight the dark rats. That's actually arguably a good thing here. So dark rats will have 4 health, because we're on day 2, do no bonus damage, have no defense, 1 favor. When you defeat a dark rat, you gain 1 food. Yummy. So 4 health. I will just spend 1 energy to attack. Getting a 1 and a 4, so that is 3 plus 2 is 5, which is more than 4. So the rat dies, we gain 1 favor, and we gain 1 food. Cool. And then at the high nest, I will gain 2 health and 1 energy at the campsite. Then I will connect it to the forest, and I will move 1 space. Now we have Bone Rock. I don't want to go to Bone Rock. I will skip Bone Rock. And we have the Obelisk. We have a Poison Trap, so I will gain 1 poison. And then we get the Pipeweed again. Ooh, that's good. Love that for me. I'm at max health, so I don't know if I want to use the Pipeweed immediately. Dead Oak doesn't let me advance anymore on the map, so I will skip the Dead Oak and go to Darkpool, where we will have to fight a Crawlbone. So Crawlbone will have 6 health and 2 defense. I will get +1 damage to my attacks because it has armor with the short bow. And so I'm going to spend 2 energy to attack. And I get a 2 and a 4, so that is 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8, minus 2 is 6, which is exactly enough to kill it and gain 1 favor. Okay. Then we will go to the water symbol. We will roll a die. On a 5 or a 6, we get 1 food. That is a 6, so I will gain 1 food. I will be at 5 food. And then I will place the dark pool here, and that will complete this little mountain tile, and I will get to move 1 space further. So we're making our way downtown, walking fast, faces past. We're homebound. Not sure why this is here. Did I forget to place the obelisk somewhere? Well, if I did, I would have just put it over here anyway, and it wouldn't have changed anything. So, okay. That is that. We will advance to day 3. Lose 1 food. And move on with our life. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and shuffle these up. I'll go ahead and turn them over just so I'm not potentially looking at what's coming up. Okay. We have Deep Wood. It's just a fight. So I will go ahead and go there. We will take a fight at Deep Wood. And the fight will be the Blood Cap. That's not cool. So Blood Cap is going to have 8 health. It has 5 plus 3 because we're on day 3. Does no bonus damage, has 1 armor, gain 2 favor when we kill it, gain 1 poison every time the Blood Cap successfully hits during combat. The Blood Cap always attacks first. I think now is going to be a good time to use my Raven. So I will spend 1 food and skip its first turn. And then is effectively 9... effectively 9 health. I could risk it and spend 2 energy, but I think that's too big of a risk to take. I'm going to spend 3 energy to attack. Yeah, that wouldn't have killed it, so that'll be 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 1 from the short bow is 10. 10 minus 1 armor is 9. It has 8 health, so it is dead, and I will gain 2 favor for killing it. Okay. I am going to discard the Pipeweed along with 1 food to gain 2 energy and move 1 space on the track, and then I will place the Deep Wood here. The Old Fairy will not pair with the Deep Wood, so I will not go there. I'm going to skip the Old Fairy. We get the Dead Oak. Whoops. Put that backwards. Really? Okay. So, Dead Oak, we go to the Oak Warden as our event. That's good. Love that. I'm just going to go ahead and spend 3 favor to go down to 4 favor and move 1 space for the Oak Warden Blessing. I will. That will put me on a water tile, so I will roll to see if I get a 5 or a 6. Hey, there's a 5, so that's 1 food. Then I will go to a campsite, where I will go ahead and gain another food. Cool. Then with the dead oak, I will place the dead oak on this side of the deep wood, and I will get to move 1 space further on the track again. Slow but steady progress. Vile Shores won't let me complete anything, and it's a trap and a fight. I'm just going to skip it. And we go to the obelisk. 2 energy trap, yikes, but we get a random loot. So that's good. Let's shuffle up our loot and see what we can find. We get Sun's Edge. When in combat against an undead enemy, you inflict an additional 2 damage on successful hits. Cool. The obelisk. Oh man, I have to place it here so I don't have to move backward. Ooh. Not great. Lost Spring, I will go to the Lost Spring for sure. Our event is the altar. Okay, I have 4 favor. So the altar at 4 favor lets me gain 1 health and 1 energy. I'm still at max health, so I'll just gain 1 energy. Then I will get to roll to see if I find any food by fishing. As a 2, that is not food. And then the campsite, I will gain 1 food. And I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 food to gain 1 energy. I need to eat some. I'm getting a little famished over here. Man, this is a rough set of cards. I'm gonna put Lost Spring over here. And then Bone Rock I'm gonna skip. We get to the lakeside. Where we have a poison trap. Our poison is getting a little high now. I'm not the biggest fan of that. And then we get to go to the Oak Warden. You know what? Instead of... I don't know. Because we're effectively at 8 health now. 8 health is fine. Yeah, I'm going to spend 3 more favor at the Oak Warden to move 1 space. Enter the campsite, and then we'll gain 1 food again. I will eat 1 food to gain 1 energy. We will go to the lakeside, where I will place it on this side. It still doesn't complete anything. And then I will skip the pyramid. We will go to the high nest, where we will fight a direwolf. So the direwolf is going to have 7 health, does 2 bonus damage, has no defense, gives 1 favor if you kill it. Wolves always attack first in combat, but you may avoid combat with the direwolf by spending 1 food. And you know what? I'm just going to spend 1 food and say no thank you. Then I get to go to a campsite where I will immediately gain 1 food again. Okay, and then with the high nest, I can put it over here on this side, because these 2 will make a mountain, which will let me move 1 space. So I'm 2 spaces away. I'm almost there. But we will advance to day 4. Eat 1 food. We've been doing kind of okay, but everything getting 4 health now is going to make it really hard to kill it. The raven I will get back. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a little bit spooky. But we only have to go 2 more spaces. Okay. So immediately we have the Dead Oak, which is an event, and the campsite. I'm going to skip the Dead Oak. And we get Lover's Rest instead, which is an event. The Wanderer. Ooh, the Wanderer. That's so good. So the Wanderer You may trade any loot card with the Wanderer for any available trappings card, or you may ask the Wanderer for directions, which will move you 1 space on the map cards. So I'm just going to ask for directions, and I'm going to move 1 space. And so now I just need to move 1 more space, and I will reach where I need to go. First, I'm going to fish for some food at Lover's Rest here. We're going to get a 6, which will give me 1 food. Putting me here. Now, unfortunately, the High Nest will not be able to connect to this. I am going to just go to the High Nest and see what we have to fight. Ooh, it's a blood cap. Ooh, no. Not a fan. Not a fan of the blood cap. No, thank you. So the blood cap is going to have 5 plus 4 health, so it's going to have 9 HP. No bonus attack, has 1 armor. We gain 2 favor when we kill it, and it goes first. I'm going to be so real, I'm just going to spend 1 food to use the Raven to skip its first turn again, so that way I get to go first. And then with effectively 10 health, I'm going to have to spend 3 energy to attack. So here we go. Oh no, that is a 2 and a 3, so that is 1. Plus 7 is 8, plus 1 from the short bow is 9, minus 1 from their defense is 8, so unfortunately they live with 1 HP, and then they will get a chance to attack back. Please be gentle. Okay, they got a 4 and a 5, so they deal 1 damage and give 1 poison. And then I'm going to punch them in the face by spending 0 energy, which will kill them and give me 2 favor. Then I will get to go to the campsite, where I will gain 1 health and 1 energy. And then with the High Nest, I'm going to place it on this side of Lover's Rest, so that way I can pair it with this Deep Wood. So I'm going to go to the Deep Wood, and we're going to fight the Brigand. Oh, this is perfect. So this enemy has 4 health, plus 4 from being on day 4, so it'll have 8 health, 1 bonus attack, 1 bonus armor, 1 favor, but they always attack first. You may avoid combat with the Brigand by discarding a loot or trappings card. I'm going to discard the trail map to avoid combat with them, and then I will take this Deep Wood card, and I will place it here, completing this forest, and I will get to reach the end of the map. So that was another Tin Realm playthrough with the Wood Elf with the Ranger class, and that was a day 4 victory. I'd say overall that went pretty well. It felt a little sketchy just because it did reach all the way to day 4, but there wasn't a point where I really felt like I was about to die. Like, I was managing energy pretty well. I had a ton of food throughout that run to spend on energy, the dire wolf, the pipe weed. Like, I just had so much food, which really helped. I remained at full health for most of the game. So yeah, I'd say overall that went really well. I didn't really get to use the Sun's Edge, which is unfortunate, but that is Tin Realm. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.